My name is Dr. Quentin Williams, and I'm chair of the COAS Strategic Planning Task Force. And I have a wonderful group of colleagues, students, and other stakeholders who are part of the task force. And I'd like to just recognize those individuals who are in the room right now. Could you just stand, please? Those of you who are on the task force, just stand and be recognized. Okay, thank you very much. And for those who are not with us here, actually in the room, but online, you can also go to the COAS website, coas.howard.edu, and look for the Strategic Planning Task Force link that's on there to learn more about the wonderful individuals who are part of the team, part of the task force. So this process is one that's going to be taking place between now and May 1st, and we'll talk a little bit about the process as it's been laid out. But Dean Patterson, who has really spearheaded this whole effort, has asked the college to come together to think about what do we want to be, what are our aspirations, and how we're going to position ourselves strategically to reach those objectives. And he wanted us to aim very high. Things that may seem to be out of our reach, but we can always aspire to get to those heights. So we've done that, and we've got some really good ideas, fantastic input from a lot of people through the survey that's online, which is still open, by the way, and we encourage everyone to actually fill that out. There's also a link on the website. But for those of you who are in the room, there's on the agenda, you'll see a QR code. You can just scan that in with your phone and it'll take you right to the survey. Or you can type it in online and do it at your desktop computer. So we're mobile, we're also stationary as well too. And that will be open until Saturday, February 8th. So it's closing soon, so please go out and get your voice heard and documented with regard to that. So just a quick introduction of the facilitators that's here who will come up after Dean Patterson. We have Dr. Kimberly Jeffries Leonard, who's also a daughter of Howard University, a graduate of this fine institution. She's going to take us through this. And right now we're going to bring Dean Patterson up so he can give us a few words about his vision and goals and objectives of the COAS Strategic Planning Task Force.
The way I see it, there's nothing more important in my first year as dean than, first order of business is to keep students matriculating towards graduation. That's why we're all here, of course, is to educate our outstanding students. But after that, developing a strategic plan for the college, I think, is number 2 for me. And kind of for 3 reasons for that. First is that we all know the adage about if you don't know where you're going, in a road will take you there. And I, in my humble sense, over the past few years of being here, there's been too much of that for the college. And it's kind of a case of Ross and Rob, we'll just end up where we're going to be, while assisting students as best we possibly could. So I wanted to kind of get away from that. And second, of course, is that we're not a wealthy university, as you know. So the resources that we do have, limited as they are, they have to be very targeted to get the greatest bang for the buck. And so we've been missing out in that regard as well. And then also, thirdly, is that there are profound changes occurring within the academy. We are facing some serious headwinds, some tricky headwinds, going forward. And so we need to be thinking through about, who we are, what we want to try to become as a college, and also to be mindful of the changes and the challenges that are facing us in the academy. So put all that together then and say we need a strategic plan. And so I think one of the smartest thing I did was to ask Dr. Williams to chair this, and the second one was ask Dr. Leonard Jeffries Leonard is to be our outstanding facilitator. And they've done a remarkable job. They've just been working together for the past, a few months, but it seems like they've been working together for the past few years. So they're really quite adept, and one reason why they're so successful, I think, is because they have a sort of a crackerjack team that they're working with. I see some of the members here, with Dr. Tibbetts and Dr. Ebola, and Dr. Wyatt as well. So they've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. And we're moving towards having a couple of major centers of excellence. The idea is to identify, in other words, so we are a liberal arts college, and we are an outstanding liberal arts college, but we can be a preeminent liberal arts college. That's what I want to try to help us to become. And in order to remain, liberal arts colleges have a better chance of getting there to the extent that they can actually remain closely connected with the interests and activities of society, and being pragmatic, and meeting some of the major challenges of the day. So we just want to try to identify two of those grand challenges, and then to organize research centers around those that would involve, that would be truly interdivisional, the humanities, the natural sciences, and the social sciences. And they have sort of preliminarily recognizing two of them. When I met with the provost last week, I made them aware of the two, what we are. And it's just in draft form at this point in time, but here's some indication about what our faculty members are thinking with regard to this. And we were really excited about those. I mean, I didn't select these, if I selected, they'd probably be the wrong ones. But I couldn't be more proud of the work that they've done to date and moving us towards identifying the grand challenges, and also the research centers of excellence to be organized to address those, so we can start appointing faculty members to do this kind of research and educate our students in these particular areas. So that's kind of where we are. Just wanted to mention that. I don't know if there may be one or two questions that you may have for me. I'll be happy to try and address those for those who are here, or for those who might be joining us electronically. Yes, sir.
So how do you envision the funding for these centers of excellence to come from?
Yeah, so there's the $64 question, right? So some of that will be, you're going to do some of that with internal monies, but the majority of that will be external monies. So by that I mean this. The provost and the president are going to make some strategic investments within the university. I don't know necessarily what they are going to be, but I do know there will be strategic, investments. And they are aware of what we're doing, like what we're doing. I think what we're proposing could very well fit within their strategic vision for investments. And so I think we'll get some funding in that regard. Second, we'll say that would be especially from the central administration, but also with respect to faculty alliance, which is something that we think about a lot as professors, that we've been sort of husbanding our resources, concentrating our resources, and keeping them focused. In other words, faculty members have retired, faculty members have resigned last year, and left their positions for administrative posts, and those positions remain open. We are going to have it such that those lines, to some extent, will be organized around to facilitate these research centers of excellence. So we get resources that way as well. So is that, and then from there, it is going to be pursuing philanthropic institutions for funding, and also supporting our faculty members in pursuing research grants as well. That is why, under the leadership of Assistant Dean Hollister, we are appointing new research grants, pre-award and post-award facilitators to facilitate faculty members in terms of organizing their grant applications, and also to help them with their, the post-award in terms of spending the funding and getting them on board, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll be going from 0 dedicated grant facilitators within the college up to as many as 3 by the beginning of the next fiscal year. So that's going to help mightily as well. Yes, sir.
As a follow-up, active faculty members say involved in the centers of excellence. Is there going to be some release time for them to facilitate that?
Release time. So I think that what we want to try to do here is that, because we are breaking new grounds here, in the sense that There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think universities should be some of the best models for what we're witnessing in changing society. So by that I mean this. Howard hasn't necessarily had much experience with like cluster hiring and with joint appointments. And so just because we haven't had a lot of experience with that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to do it. So some of this is that we're going to be, it hasn't been all prescribed at this point in time. We're going to be soliciting input as well. We are learning from others. I had the fortunate experience to work with another university when these things were done, but not necessarily saying just because it worked there means you can transfer automatically, here. But the insight will be helpful, nonetheless. So there will be some release time. I sort of envision that at this point in time is that, for instance, is that I do know that there's going to be one area where another will be strategic investments, and that will be in the area of in atmospheric science and relatedly, and so environmental science, okay, more broadly. And so let's say that a person is appointed in physics and astronomy, but the person will be expected to facilitate this in one of the sort of proposed research areas of excellence is going to be discussed. Probably a slide on that, maybe, right? Yeah, so I won't steal that thunder on that one. But it's concerned with the environment, right? So that if a person is appointed in that area and their terminal degree, let's say, is in physics, that person might be able to teach university physics, a survey course, so to speak, to meet a divisional requirement. But then the person can also then teach more sort of niche courses in this area that will be apropos to the Research Center of Excellence. Let's say the person's in Afro-American Studies, and the person in Afro-American Studies does, sustainability work in West Africa as their area of study. That person could be teaching an intro course in Introduction to Afro-American Studies, but then also then create a new course, an integrated course, focusing on this in this niche area as well. So release time in that sense, in that being sort of released from the main department, but contributing to the advancement of the Research Center of Excellence, and also to pursue external funding. When I was chair before the deanship ascension, I had it such that we provided incentives and support for faculty members to pursue external funding. If that was part of your aspiration, then we had a reduced teaching load in association with that. You were queued up to get the graduate assistant so that to facilitate your grant preparation, and the like. I see us doing things like that out of my office. I think, just looking back over the years, not about any particular dean in particular, of course, but there's some opportunities for the Office of the Dean to provide more support for research, and then also for me to work with the Central Administration to get more resources directed as well. So just in closing, the Office of the Dean and working with the Associate Dean for Research, Dr. Lewis, Associate Dean for Research, we're going to be very keen in facilitating our colleagues in being successful in these areas.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams, and welcome everyone to our town hall meeting. We were so very pleased I'm going to make sure, okay, so this is just, I'm going to go through these slides very quickly to get us where we are. I just want to make sure that everyone who's joining us electronically can see the slide deck. Patrick, everyone can see that? Everyone can see, okay, great. We had the opportunity to hear from Dr. Williams. Dr. Dean Patterson gave us an overview of his vision, goals, and objectives. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about the strategic planning process, which he did touch upon. As he said, there really is a phenomenal task force that is guiding this strategic planning process under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Williams. And because of their work, they have put in place a process that includes a way to get information from all of the stakeholders who have a hand in COAS. That includes students, faculty, administrators, staff, members of the university who may not be a part of the College of Arts and Sciences, and members of the community. And those processes include a survey, which we've talked about, and as Dr. Williams said, is going to be open just a short more time. A town hall meetings where we're able to hear from the community and stakeholders. We've held a listening post, and we will be holding focus groups. And so through these processes, we really are able to touch on and get information from all of those who are engaged in the process and who have a hand in the success of the strategic plan for the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm going to go over the feedback from the survey. We'll talk quite a bit about the emerging interdisciplinary and interdivisional centers of excellence. We'll touch on experiential learning, the modernization of academic programs. We'll have closing remarks and announcements, and then we'll adjourn.